Super Bowl 57 is fast approaching, and the headlines about former players continue to roll in. Today is from SF Gates Lester Black about San Francisco 49ers Hall of Famer, the man some call the GOAT, none other than the legendary quarterback Joe Montana. So long after hanging up his cleats, Joe Montana's gift for finding wide receivers on the field apparently transitioned well into the world of cannabis venture capital. One of his most successful portfolio picks, an investment in this, at the time, tiny California cannabis startup 4 years ago, has given him an ownership stake in what is now one of the biggest cannabis companies in the state. Way back in 2019, Montana's venture capital firm Liquid 2 Ventures was an early investor in Cannabis, a company, a cannabis distribution company founded by a pair of tech engineers. Today, Cannabis has quietly become one of the most successful pot companies in California, selling hundreds of millions of dollars of weed. Cannabis is so dominant in California that it's now responsible for moving 22% of all weed products legally sold in the state, according to SF Gate interviewer Brian Dewey, a vice president of revenue at the company. Here's what he had to say. We're moving a big chunk of the market today, Dewey said on a phone interview last month. And Montana's firm is also a repeat investor in Cannabis, increasing its stake in the company in a 2019 Series A round and a 2022 Series B round. The timing was very fruitful. As everybody knows, Herbal kicked the bucket last year, and Cannabis has rose to prominence, growing over 430% over the last 3 years, according to Inc.com. So I think we're going to see a lot more of these, not just former athletes, hopping into the cannabis venture capital scene now that they're allowing NFL players to actually put their money where their mouth is. I think it'll be a lot more fruitful if they can actually come out of the green closet and let these guys show their face too, because it's good for everybody when you're seeing like a lot of these guys who have done a lot on the field. They're very competitive too, and to know that they have your back and as far as putting their money behind your product, I think it'd be nothing but good. Right. So big ups to Joe Montana, making lots of dough in the industry. I do not know. I've never met the guy. He's like one of the former NFL guys in cannabis that I have not met. But he's been making some really, really good moves from that. And I believe he was a early investor in, help me out here, Elise. I know you know this one. Same company Jay-Z was in.
The parent co?
You guys are helping.
Kaliva?
The parent
Yeah,
co.
Kaliva. Yeah, him and Jay-Z actually came in at the same time with Kaliva back in 2017, 2018 as well. So yeah, Joe Montana's making some great picks out there, and I'm sure a lot of other athletes have a knack for seeing underdogs before they even reach fruition. And so that's it for the day. Just a little spotlight on Joe Montana, his cannabis investments. What other players that you guys know are dropping big cash on the cannabis industry? My name is Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for High at 9 News. And a little light one for today, but I'm all for it.
Define big cash.
He has put in about 32 million of his own money.
32 million of his own money into Cannabis.
Yeah.
Or into this hedge
Cannabis,
fund.
in his cannabis portfolio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. All right. Interesting.
That's big cash,
interesting.
Dude.
That is some big cash. I'm not going to turn down. Yeah, that's some serious money, and that's a real commitment. $32 million.
And they weren't making the big contracts when he was playing like they are today. So,
I mean,
he's in it, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Joe Montana, still quarterbacking.
Yeah,
literally
quarterbacking, still in that green, bro.
Yeah, and he's one of the big investors in Cannabis. Bro,
yeah, I didn't know you didn't know that, man.
Yeah. I didn't know that until this article. I didn't know he was one of the major investors in Cannabis. No, I think that's
yeah.
Pretty
interesting. It's cool because he was the first. He's one of the first guys that were former pro athletes, and especially of his caliber, to put his name out there. It wasn't just his company.
Mm-hmm.
I found out that he was like one of the investors back in like 2017 when he was getting into Kaliva back then. They were flirting with Jay-Z and his team, but yeah, Joe Montana was the first like a big name to reveal itself. And I was like,
He was
I've
the
never
first
seen Joe
one.
Montana do anything.
He was the first one to get a completion, you're saying, Rico.
I see what you did.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think of this, Dr. T? You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute, Dr. T. There we go. There we go.
Sorry.
No worries.
I think this is more interesting news about Cannabis than it is.
Yeah. I agree.
Deeper, Doc.
It's great. He has great financial advisors that are making wise decisions. So he's smart in hiring good people. He was a smart football player too. But Cannabis is trying to become the Amazon of cannabis, and so it's interesting to see how they're rapidly growing, especially as others fall behind.
Yeah, I think this article stated that Cannabis is responsible for 22% of all the legal cannabis products that are sold within the state that they distribute. 22% of the overall market in California.
And they're not just in California; they're in several states.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But this article was pertaining to California, and they were talking about California specifically in regards with that 22%. So I'm not sure what their stake is what they control of the market share in other municipalities, but this article personally referenced the 22% in California.
Yeah, well, it said that he founded Liquid 2 Ventures in 2015 and has since invested in 25 companies total worth over a combined $1 billion.
Did he bring any other NFL players into this fund with him?
It doesn't say.
It does.
It'll be interesting to see if Jerry Rice is in it too.
That's what I was wondering.
I've actually seen Jerry Rice at a couple of cannabis events.
Yeah, I mean,
I've actually seen that.
I met Jerry.
Good dude, man.
I met Jerry Rice for the first time at his retirement game in the players' parking lot at the barbecue after the game. And so,
what are you guys doing in the parking lot, Jason?
We were chiefing, bro.
Up to no good. Up to no good.
Big chiefing going on in the players' parking lot back in the day.
Yeah, shout out to Jay Rice, man. That's my guy.
Shout out to the Niners, and good luck next weekend.
Yeah, man, they're actually expected to win. Even though I think my guy Pat Mahomes is the Jordan on the football team, right on the football field right now. But yeah, good luck to San Fran. Like none of my teams are in. I'll just be able to enjoy the game for once.
Yeah, so. You have any thoughts on this, Elise?
I do. I also didn't know that Joe Montana was invested in Caliva nor Cannabis until this article today. So I think it's interesting that he's been involved in. None of us knew about it till now. I mean, who's doing his PR? And I also think it's nice to hear that he's invested, as opposed to, we know a lot of celebrities want to go to a company and do a licensing deal and then essentially get paid to be part of the industry, or, have it be an additional revenue stream. And it's nice, of course, we've had the Jay-Z's or the Diddy's who, invested, but yeah, I didn't know that Joe Montana's actually put significant money into the industry, which, as we know, is needed. And so, yeah, I wish him well with his investments. And yeah, Cannabis, as we know, does kind of control this state at this point. They're like one of the only distributors.
Not to mention, they are the they have basically the credit rating for a lot of these retailers and brands and whatnot. Regardless,
yeah,
collecting bills now, right?
Yeah.
They did it smart, because they'll cut you off if you don't pay your invoice. So they've actually finally found a way to get paid by the retailers, and so that's why they're surviving. Or, in my opinion, is they're not allowing people to go too far on their terms, so they're getting paid, and then thus
the brands are getting paid. Exactly. And they have this whole little credit rating system for actual dispensaries. Like some stores, like they rate your overall dispensary and your license based off how well you pay, and that based upon how much credit you get and whatnot. And there's some stores that are on there that are like COD only, it says on there.
It's like
also, I want to go to Joe Montana's Super Bowl party. Do we know if he's having one?
I bet you.
I'll make a couple calls. Let's see what we can find out. At least let's talk later on today.
Please do that, Rico. Definitely do that.
See what we can do.
And I'm willing to bet that there will be some weed there. The big question is will Cannabis be sponsoring the Super Bowl party? That's the question.
No way.
Bigger question, Jason, is what if would you still go if they only had Jay-Z's pre-rolls there?
I mean, I would still go because I'd have my own pre-rolls there in my pocket, smoking my own weed. The best weed in the world.
You can't bring your own shit. Like Joe Montana said, no, you ain't allowed to.
They don't have. They don't.
Monogram,
they don't have weed detectors at the door, Rico.